Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got another video for you about renting a property. So I'm doing a bit of a mini series at the moment on kind of useful information about renting a property in the UK, specifically in England. I am no expert on renting properties. This is purely coming from my own research and my own experience as a tenant in the UK. Obviously, yeah. Don't come for me if I get it wrong. I will link everything that I'm talking about as much as I can in the description box below, so feel free to please go ahead and check out those links yourself if you need any clarification on points, or if you drop something in the comments below and I will answer if I can. So today I'm going to be talking about the responsibilities that you have as a tenant. In my previous video I was talking about the rights you have as a tenant, but with those rights you obviously have a degree of responsibility, as this is not your house or your flat. It's your home but you don't own it, so unfortunately you have to take care of it for somebody else whilst paying for the privilege. But such is the life of renting. The first major responsibility is obviously you have to take care of the property. It's not yours, so that's making sure if you, for example, if you go away on a long holiday, you ideally should actually notify the letting agent or your landlord if you're dealing with them directly. You should notify them that you're not actually in the property, because if anything goes wrong, they need to know that they can get in, or they can't get in. It's also useful if you are going away for a significant amount of time, and by that I mean like a week. Obviously simple things that you would do if you owned a property. So I would actually advise you to turn the stopcock so that there's no water going into the property. Therefore, if there is something faulty with the plumbing, you're going to get minimal damage. Turning off all of the light switches, unplugging things, etc, etc, making sure that the property is locked up properly. Another major responsibility that you have is to pay your rent, and that is to pay your rent on time. It's so important that when you sign your tenancy agreement, check your contract for the terms and conditions around your rent. For example, late payment fees. Sometimes there's they charge you an interest on the amount you haven't paid. Obviously, if you do not pay your rent, they will have grounds to end your tenancy early because you have not fulfilled your end of the contract. Therefore, they do not have to fulfill their end of the contract. In addition to paying rent, you also have the responsibility to pay other bills and charges as agreed by your landlord. So there are some rental instances where, say, your water bill may be included in the cost of your rent, or your council tax, or whatever. Your tenancy agreement again will outline the things that you're responsible for paying for. Typically it's all of the other bills. So that would be your council tax, energy bill, water bill, TV license, etc, etc. That's all something that you are responsible for. On the note of energy providers, although the landlord may, for example, sign up with energy provider A, however, you are entitled during your tenancy to use a different provider. That's quite a common mistake that I've heard a lot of people make, especially in their first tenancy. Not changing their energy provider, because if you're the one paying the bill, you're entitled to change it. You won't be able to change your water provider because they're just set. But definitely energy provider. You're also entitled to change like your TV. So obviously if they can't get a Sky cable into the property and it already has Virgin, then that's just something you're gonna have to live with. But generally you can have your own TV internet provider sorted as well. You also have a responsibility to notify the letting agent or the landlord for any major damage. For example, if a door falls off its hinges, it is your responsibility to notify the letting agent. You can't just leave it until you move out and then go, oh, by the way, the door fell off. As soon as the damage happens, ideally you should be letting them know. I am going to do a brief anecdote here. The property we're in currently is above a shop, and the shop is owned by the same people that own the flat. We are in a trio of flats here, and the shop below was having a lot of water damage and a lot of leaks. They thought it was coming from our flat, despite the fact it quite clearly was not, due to the fact there was no water anywhere. That is a whole other story, and it turned out actually that it's one of the other flats, and he was aware of a situation that could have been causing water damage to the shop below, and he did not disclose that. So yeah, not ideal. Also caused disturbance to other tenants, but water under the bridge, pardon the pun. On the note of damage, you also have a responsibility to pay for any damage that you or anybody associated with you commits or does. If you put a hole in the wall, it's your responsibility to fix it. If you break the window, your responsibility to fix it. You spill an entire bottle of nail polish on the floor, your responsibility to get it cleaned. You leave the property the way you found it. But speaking of leaving, if you decide, for example, that you would like to put a nail in the wall, I'd advise you check with the letting agent beforehand. But obviously, once if they agree and they say just leave it how you found it, you obviously can fill the hole, but it won't be the same. So just check that will be enough. And I would also, I would just check before you decide to do anything that could be considered damage. For example, painting a wall or putting up a curtain pole, anything that is altering the actual property itself, even if you think it's minor, like a lick of paint. Always check first, because you don't want to be stung when it comes to getting your deposit back and end up losing it. So yeah, that's 5 responsibilities. Again, I would urge you, check your contract. This isn't the gospel, this isn't everything. There will be little responsibilities throughout your contract of things that they expect you to do. So make sure you check that, and always double check with your letting agent if you're not sure, because it's just not worth losing your security deposit. As I said before, check out the description box below. I will link to other websites with more information, and also I'll pop the link below for the other 2 videos I've done on renting a property. But yeah, leave anything else you can think of in the comments below for other people. It's incredibly helpful. I can't think of everything. I'm human. I will miss things. So please, if you can think of anything else, leave it in the comments below, and yeah, hopefully it will help somebody else. So thank you for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Bye bye.